So they're gonna ride they're doing their La ride from Los Angeles to Louisiana. They're gonna ride on their motorcycles, and then they want to raise awareness about the Gulf of Mexico and the fact that there's still cleaning to be done, and like there will be for a long time, and just the environment in general. So the contest involves sending in a video or an email or information about what you're doing daily to contribute to save the environment.
Okay.
So I decided, okay, yeah, I really want to enter this contest. So I'm making a video about what we're doing to save the environment. So what do? I walk. So I walk between 2 and 15 miles every day. But I wanted to be sure, so I fired up Google Earth. And I started plotting from place to place that I walk, started multiplying it by the number of days that I would walk there to get a total miles walked since I came to LA about a year and a half ago. Then to exemplify, I recorded a Google Earth tour showing the routes that I would walk, and showing really to myself even how possible it would be for everyone to walk to most of the things that they need. So I'm making this tour and I'm listening to music on my headphones, and in the spirit of what I'm doing, the music starts to multiply with the sentiment of what of everything that I'm doing. I'm really just engrossed in this tour that I'm making. And I zoom out and hop over to the Gulf of Mexico, and I'm looking at it, looking for the oil. And I eventually end up back in LA, and in a thought about the contrast between all the walking that I do and all the cars on the road, click on the traffic thing on Google Earth. So it starts showing, all these yellow lines where the traffic is slow, and all these red lines where it's traffic jams, and green lines where the traffic is moving. And as I look at all these lines that are just everywhere, it's like this great big web that just covers everything, and you can keep zooming down, and there's more and more lines of traffic, and finally you get all the way down and you can see like just endless cars on the freeway. There's cars everywhere. And even though it's just a snapshot of the cars, knowing that it's a snapshot and that they're there all the time, it's not just that car, but it's like hundreds of thousands of other cars that are always there. And so I start looking for red spots or traffic jams, and the music is getting more stirring. And I pop over to New York and look at its traffic, and it's awful. And so I start thinking a lot about traffic and driving and stuff, and so I start looking for traffic stats about how much we drive. And to make a long math story short, in the United States in 2008, we drove collectively nearly 3 trillion miles. Unbelievable, right? Now here's where I take it all the way up, and I think you'll understand why this felt so profound, especially for everything that brought me to this point, starting with a lovely show set in space. So 3 trillion miles yearly in the US we drive. Based on statistics going back to 2003, since 2003 in the US alone, we've driven 2 trillion miles farther than the nearest star, which is 25 trillion miles away. Alpha Centauri. I read something, though it may be outdated, that by current technology it would take us 78,000 years to travel to Alpha Centauri. But in the last 7 years in the US alone, we've driven more than that.
Sheesh.
And so in my mind, I kind of came back down to Earth from the star, and in my head, the Earth looks like a red planet where the surface is cracking and magma is coming through the cracks. Earth looks like that, but rather than cracks, the red gashes and wounds are trillions of miles of traffic moving over the same space over and over again. So now that image, this conclusion felt so profound to me. To make a contribution of something that has such a profound essence to it, even if it's just for me, in the face of the gravest new fact, I feel so excited and so hopeful. So thank you, Katie and Tricia, and I hope you realize that your endeavors have the potential to be epic and game-changing, and I applaud you. Cheers. And that's my story. So,
Me so.
Dude, right on. Cool. So yeah, I'm basically gonna, do myself reciting this video a few different ways, walking, sitting and stuff, then I'm gonna splice them all together and submit it to this contest.